Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Athlete Mindset. We'll be talking with Ted Starkweather. Ted was part of CrossFit Mayhem Independence and competed in this year's games where his team took fourth. Super exciting. The wonderful interview. He talked about his journey to know the Lord and the impact that one man had in his life. Here's our interview. So just tell us who you are. Tell us about you.
Well, my name is Edward Starkweather, but I go by Ted. No one's ever called me Edward ever, but that's my birth name.
Okay.
I am 23 years old from Cookeville, Tennessee. I train at CrossFit Mayhem, and I'm just going to turn the TV. That's going to be a distraction. Sorry. College football. I'm a huge college football fan. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I'm a student at Tennessee Tech right now, and I finish in December with an interdisciplinary studies degree. And with that, I think I'd like to be a personal trainer. I've thought about getting into the strength and conditioning field. Matt Hewitt, who was on Freedom's team last year, he's the head strength and conditioning coach at Tennessee Tech, and he asked me, I asked him if I could maybe like watch him coach and shadow him a little bit, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, just like let me know and everything." So I'll do that in the future, see if I would like to go that route. But I grew up. Did taekwondo when I was like 5 to 4. So I did for 4 years, 5 to 9, and then gymnastics from I did it from 9 to 14, and so
Wow,
it was like the first sport that like I really, really loved. And,
okay.
And then after gymnastics, I decided to stop with gymnastics, and I played football for the high school for 4 years. So I love football. I really, our strength and conditioning coach, and he was our defensive coordinator and the head wrestling coach. His name's Coach Cook. He actually really got me into working out and kind of introduced kind of like the idea of what CrossFit is, like high intensity, not very long workouts, but crazy. And so I loved it. And my dad actually got me into CrossFit when I was 15. And basically he said, "Hey, I think this would be really good for you during the off season." And so I was like, "I'll give it a shot." I remember one time we were about to do this workout. It was like Tabata for 12 minutes. Like the first 4 minutes, it was air squats. The next 4 minutes, it was burpees. And then the last 4 minutes, it was air squats again. And actually, Hugh was my first ever CrossFit coach. And then
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Actually, I helped him move chairs and tables with him the other day. So it was good to catch up with him for a little bit.
That's so great. He writes all of our athlete word of the days.
Does he?
Yes. I don't know if you've seen that or if you get those, but he writes all those.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. He is the minister at the college church that I go to, and every Wednesday night he gives a lesson, and it's really something.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. And so after high school football was done, I gained a little bit of weight, and because I kept the same diet, but football was fun.
Yeah.
And so basically, I gained a little bit of weight, and so I went to Europe and lost a little bit of weight, and I think CrossFit would be a good thing to get back to do, to just lose some weight, and so I decided to do that. And basically, I figured like you could like really compete and stuff, and I did my first competition 3 months after I started taking my training a little more serious, and it's been great. But a guy named Jake Lockhart, this was like back in the summer, he actually got me plugged into University Christian Student Center, the UCSC. And he was one of the directors there, and he just really got me plugged into Mayhem and really kind of took me under his wing and got my faith back on track. He actually baptized me.
Oh, no way.
October, yeah. And so, but when I first started working out with him, he would smash me on everything. Anything with a heavy barbell, he would just smash me into the dirt. I could kind of hold my own and muscle ups, but and he was just an animal. And but I mean, we would do Bible studies a ton, him, Chip, and I, and we just got into the Word deeper and deeper. And then eventually, like, I want to be baptized, and second, made the best decision of my life.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and that was in 14, so it was the next. So it was the next year that I got baptized and everything after starting college, but it was the best decision of my life. And
What was kind of the catalyst for all of that in your life? Was there stuff going on, or is it just like the natural progression of your relationship with God?
yeah, well, a lot of it was in high school. I made a lot of bad decisions and knew that my life wasn't going down the right road. So basically, I decided that, I think I need to be with some better people. So I chose, college side, because a lot of the coaches at Mayhem, they were members at that church. And so I was like, whatever they're doing seems to be working for them because they're not getting into trouble and they're not doing stupid stuff. And
Yeah.
basically, like, Jake took me under his wing at that time, and I just kind of like followed him around like a lost puppy, and basically just showed me like the way to do things and everything, and just a great influence on me. And like I wouldn't have like I probably wouldn't even be here right now if it wasn't for Jake. Honestly, like I wouldn't have made it to the games, no region. No, I mean, really, I owe like a ton of credit to him for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
One of the themes that we are talking about right now is how do you transition from being a competitor in the faith to being a coach in the faith?
Mm-hmm.
And so what does that mean? And what does that look like from moving from, I'm just living out my relationship with Christ, I'm living out what does it mean to be a believer, to how do I help others do that? And it's just so cool hearing about Jake's influence on your life, because that's very much what we're talking about, is like he was a coach in the faith in your life. Yeah,
he really was. I mean, we still keep in touch. Like, we text almost every day to this point. I mean, it's really awesome. He actually, he's in PT school right now in Hendersonville, an hour where I live, and so he's about to go on a practice and everything. So I'm really happy for him.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So was it just doing life together that he impacted you, or was there some intentionality in how he pursued you? Or?
Yeah. Really, well, when I first got to UCSC, I wasn't all about it. I just told him straight up, I was like, hey, I just honestly didn't connect with the people like right off the bat like I thought I was going to. And I just didn't go for like the next 6 months, but like he was always there with me though. Like he was like, okay, maybe if he doesn't want to be a part of UCSC, I can still be a part of his life.
Okay.
So that's when like we started doing Bible studies like one-on-one, because I mean, I was comfortable with him. Like I was like, I'm comfortable with this guy. We can like go deeper in the Word. And then eventually, they're having a Super Bowl party at the church, and Jeff texted me like, hey, do you want to like come over? And I was like, I literally was like, I had nothing else to do, and so I went. And I made a ton of great friends there, and then I just his persistence of like never giving up on me, I think was really big. I forgot that one verse, but it was basically it was the verse where like one sheep leads the herd, and then he goes after that one sheep.
Yeah, like he leaves the 99 and goes after the one.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I really feel like Jake really did that with me, so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so kind of through that journey of discovering CrossFit and kind of like the parallels of what God was doing in your life, you found your way to Mayhem. Mm-hmm. How did you end up training with the guys and being on the team?
Well, I actually knew Rich the year he got second at the games, is back in 2010. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know, I've heard of him, but like I didn't know like who he was. And I remember Chip was again, I was like maybe 2 weeks into CrossFit. We started work at the Athletic Performance Center. He was brand new. And he was like, all right, guys, we're going to do this workout, but we're going to warm up. We're going to wait on this guy named Rich, who's pretty good. And I was like, okay. I can't remember the workout, but I remember I worked out right next to him. I'm like, this guy's an animal. Like, who is he? And then Chip was like, that's Rich. And I was like, So that's Rich. He was like, yeah, he got second in the world last year. I was like, okay, animal. And I was like 15 at the time. And so, yeah, so I've known Rich for a long time. Eventually, 2013 of the summer of 2013 was when I started taking training a little more serious when I was 18. Started to compete a little more, found I missed that competitive edge from football, and I knew that CrossFit would be a great 2014 was the first year I did the Open. Cardio, just everything and didn't know the pace. There were like 300s in the region that year. I was pretty new to it, but I still enjoyed it. Here I was top 100 in the region for the first time through CrossFit, and that was the time when I just worked out with Jake all the time, and so it was pretty great. And then Rich just started, inviting me to the barn more and more. So I mean, I had trained with them for a while, just not like I did this summer. I probably worked out with them like once or twice a week just to get that experience of just working out with people that are better than you. It's like the best better. And so 2018, I did the best I ever did in the Open. I think I got like 50th in the region. And originally it was going to be Angelo and Darren that were going to be on the team because they had planned it back in November. So I was totally cool. I mean, they had planned it for a long time. I did the best I ever did in the Open. And then a couple weeks go by and Rich just goes, hey, Ted, would you want to do this workout with Darren real quick? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. I had no idea what I had no.
You thought you were just working out together.
I thought like Angelo wasn't here. And so they just need someone to like fill in that position. So I did. And then all of a sudden Rich was like, hey, Ted, we're going to go to the barn in about an hour. Why don't you come to the barn? And so I was like, yeah, sure. Absolutely. And so literally I went, and a friend of mine, he was there, and he kind of gave me the inside scoop. He's Jimmy Hensel. He's been working with the Mayhem mindset for.
Yeah. I listen to y'all's podcast a lot. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah. He's incredibly wise and has a lot of life experience. So he's definitely a good guy to listen to and ask advice for. But he just basically said, like, Ted, you probably don't know this right now, but right now, like, they are testing you right now to see if like you'd be a good fit here. I was like, really? I had no idea that Angelo was hurt and that he may not compete this year. So literally that was, I figured like this is my opportunity right here. And I was going to make the absolute most of it because you may never get this opportunity ever again. So I'm going to make the most of it. And whatever happens, happens. And then 3 weeks later, Rich kind of pulls me aside and he goes, hey, Ted, so here's the deal. So these last 2-3 weeks, we've been testing you to see if you'd be a good fit for our team. Because, I mean, not only do you got to be if you're a great athlete, you don't get along with the team, then it's just not going to be a good fit. Be a good fit for the team.
Oh, hey, say that again. Sorry, you're breaking up again. I don't know if it's the connection, but yeah, you're just breaking up again.
Basically, Rich pulled me aside and said, for the last 3 weeks, we've been testing you, and I figured that you'd be a good fit for the team. Would you want to be on the team? And I said, yeah, absolutely, because I knew if I said no, I'd regret it for the rest of the time.
Yeah, just go for it. Yeah.
I just said, I mean, obviously I'm not as good as you, but like I'll give it my all and see what happens. And so literally I just prayed that night. I was like, God, like I pray that you get, like, let me do my best. Like, because I mean, I know that there are other athletes out there that are like way more talented than I was, but I was like, if I do my best, that's all I can ask for, so yeah.
That's amazing.
So we went to regionals and top 5 at regionals because there's not going to be any regionals anymore, but top 5 at regionals goes to the games, and we got 4th, and then trained for another 2 months to go to the games. And then we ended up getting 4th at the games. So it was awesome.
Incredible. It's incredible.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, and it was I mean, it was all God's doing of like giving me that amazing opportunity, being with amazing people, being with, and it was all God. So.
So what is the impact of God on, in your relationship with him, like on training, on the way that you do life, on, just like every aspect of your life?
Or with training and competition, I mean, the suffers like, Jesus went through the biggest suffering for what he did for us to, get rid of our sin, and like literally what he went through. What I'm going through right now with hurting, it was nothing compared to what he went through with, with all that torture that he went through. But in my everyday life, I pray every night, and I always try to think like, what would Jesus do in this situation? When a situation comes up, that'd be really rough. Just try to do the right thing, and just, try to be a light to some people. Right now there's a guy that I'm trying to get like an actual legitimate relationship with him, and then eventually, because he's from up north, and so like up north faith is not as big up here as it is down here. He just never grew up around church or anything like that, and so I was like, hey, he asked what I do for fun or whatever. I was like, well, I hang out with my church at College Church of Christ. And he was like, church has never been very big to me. And I was like, I mean, you're more than welcome to come to a midweek. I go for that every Wednesday. Part of the experience has been great with him. So I've been really trying to make get to know him a little better. And
That's so cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm in Denver, and it's very similar. Like I think it's less than 5% of the church of people here would identify as Christian.
Wow.
And so, like it's not a common thing, or it's just kind of like, okay, that's cool, you do your thing, but I'm doing my thing over here. Or there's a lot of misperceptions around what church is or what it means to have a relationship with Christ, Yeah.
I live in the Bible Belt, so I feel like if you were to ask someone if they're a Christian, they probably would say they would, even though the thing. North, it's not like that, really. I mean, if you ask someone up north if they're Christian, they'll probably say not, but it's just the culture here.
That's so cool. So, what do you think are the 3 most important things to your relationship with Christ?
3 most important things. I haven't really thought about that. I think just the love he gives us every day. I mean, just being just so blessed every day. Like literally every night I pray, I go, God, thank you for the blessings that you've given me in my life. Opportunity is another one. Just thank you for the opportunities that you've given me. Doesn't mean, because he was the one who gave me like amazing opportunities that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And just the perseverance that he will never give up on me. So why would I ever give up on him?
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah.
God's love is forever. It's never like, I'm going to love you this minute and I'm going to, forget about you. He'll never forget us. So.
Yeah. I was just talking with someone last night about that, around how so often we live as if we think that God's love is only relevant for a short amount of time, or his grace is limited. But like, how would it impact the way that we live if we truly believed and remembered that, hey, like, his love is constant. It's never going to change. His love is never going to go anywhere. Even no matter what peaks or valleys you're in life, like God is completely constant. He's always there, and he's just never going anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
No matter what we feel. So good. That's so good. So is there any encouragement that you would want to give to people who are going to watch this or listen to this?
Honestly, just, it was one of those things where I was talking to Jimmy about this before I, went team and went to the games and all that. But basically, we talked about it, and I told him, I was like, one of those things, I was like, as long as, through Christ, if he allows me to do the best that I can do, training the way that I'm supposed to train, and if I never make the games, I can rest my head knowing that, like, I know I gave it everything I had.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually, my Faith RX wristband that I got at Wadapalooza last year, because I competed on a team last year at Wadapalooza, which is actually still my favorite competition that I've ever. And it was, I wish I had it right now, but it actually just recently broke like a week ago, but I had it for like 10 months.
We'll get you a new one. We'll have to get you a new one. Send me your address and I'll get that mailed to you.
I appreciate it. But it said gratitude wins. So literally that wristband usually doesn't break pretty quickly, or at least when I wear them, at least. I guess, I don't know, I just don't take good care of them or whatever, but that wristband, I did the Open with that wristband, I did the regionals with that wristband on, and I did the games with that wristband on. Just gratitude wins, just being thankful for all the gifts that God has given you. Like literally before every event, and I just remember, like, I would always look at that wristband and it would just say gratitude wins. I mean, because when you're in the crowds, like, you feel like
awesome.
You're so nervous and so you feel like you're gonna throw up, and because it's just really nerve wracking. But once you're on the field, that's when you're in the zone, and your mind is almost at peace. Like, we're about to, it's half nerve wracking knowing that, like, I'm about to it's about to be really, really painful. But at the time, it's like, but be thankful that you're in this position that God has put you in to be with the best in the world, and to just gratitude wins always. Just being thankful for where you are, and that's just. I hate that. I would have loved to have kept that wristband for this interview.
That would have been awesome. It's all good. It's all good. Well, like I said, we'll get you a new one.
Yeah, for sure. So that was, I literally was like, this wristband has been with me this whole time. I really think it's been with me this long for a reason. And so that's why, that's one thing that sticks out in my mind for sure.
That's so cool. So are you going to be competing again next year, or was this kind of like, this was awesome, this was good, glad I did it, time to move on?
It's looking a little more that route. I'm actually not going to be I'm not going to do the game season this year. But I'm still going to do Wadapalooza with a buddy of mine, and then a guy I met at regionals who I got along really well with. He's actually so Dre Strom. He's actually Dre's really good buddy. So I'm going to do Wadapalooza with him. We're going to try and make it to the elite division this year. That'd be pretty cool. And so I decided not to do the game season this year because I wanted to focus on school and graduating, and then I wanted to focus on finding a full-time job. So right now I'm doing a culminating project, which is kicking my butt. I just wouldn't have had the time to train like I did last semester, because really with training, regionals was right around the corner and school was almost done. And then for the games, I did 6 hours of classes that summer. So training, it was easy to train,
Yeah.
But now
there's a lot to balance and manage.
Right. But now that I'm going to be working a full-time job when I graduate and other things, I just wouldn't have had the time like I would have. And I just don't know if I would have been as fit as I needed to have been for my team.
Yeah. So is there any advice you would give someone who has like someone in their life that they really want to reach out to or disciple or love on the way that Jake did for you? Do you have any advice for them?
Basically just to never give up on them. Always start a legitimate relationship, because, when there's been a person in the past that I talked to, one of my buddies, his name is Andrew. We've been really good friends for the last 4 years when he was here. And he actually lives in Jonesboro, Arkansas, doing a internship under Kyra. So I'm really happy for him that he's doing all that. But, I told him, I was like, my goal is to get this guy saved. And then he said, instead of that, I think that's great, but let me just say, why don't you focus on having a real relationship with him first? And then everything will fall into place. And then I heard that and I was like, wow, like, you're right. So
That's so good. Loving him where he's at, and then just trusting that God's going to use that and move in him, and that the Holy Spirit's going to do his work.
yeah, I mean, you can't force anything. Otherwise, that might draw them away. So
Mm-hmm.
gotta start slow, have a legitimate relationship with him, be their friend, like know that they can trust you, and just be there for them, and then eventually the pieces will fall into place where they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the route I'm going with this guy right now. I've known him for about a year. So I've been trying to make a push with him, and we've actually had we had dinner a few times just talking about the Bible and everything. And he's actually legitimate. Like, he wants to know more about it. And
That's awesome.
it's been a true blessing. It really has.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to respect your time and the fact that you have so much going on, but I just really appreciate you being willing to hop on here. This has been awesome. Like, seriously, thank you so much.
Hey, not a problem. Thank you so much for having me on. When I got the DM about getting an interview, I was actually really stoked. I wanted to. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.